Oh,
But I
cool.
thought that would lead to your article you found because the
Yes,
person in
yes.
that article brings up Shadow of the Colossus. Its best gaming console is Nintendo Switch.
Yes. So apparently, I don't know. I feel like maybe it should be our favorite console together since it's got your favorite game and then my favorite game, Res Evil 4.
Hmm.
Um, although I've never played, I know it's available on other stuff. I've never played Res Evil 4 on anything other than the GameCube. And
Okay,
that's just like I feel like a nostalgia thing for me because that was
sure.
the first game I played on the first like console system that I like could sit down and truly like play it all the way through. Not just like I said, like sneak over to friends' houses and play for like 10, 20 minutes at a
Yeah.
time or something. So, but yeah, I thought it was interesting that that was their favorite console. Because it doesn't really feel like one. I mean, it is, I know,
Okay.
but it
Okay.
just doesn't feel like the classics, when I think of a console.
Hmm.
The Switch and its
Mm,
structure is not what
because
I
it's
think of.
portable?
Yeah, I think so. Um, yeah, it just doesn't seem like a gaming system to me that the
Huh.
same way. So
Well,
it feels more like, like Game Boys when they were like
yeah.
so big everywhere. It just feels more like that to me.
Okay. Well, you
So
should get over that because I mean, it's I think the success of the Switch is that bridge between the two, and that there's a lot of
Yeah.
people that play it one way or the other, and it's
Mhm.
not a lesser experience one way or the other, really.
Sure.
So like for me, most games it's docked, it's in the dock, and I'm playing with controller
Mhm.
on a big TV. But
Right.
Ashley, most of the time, she's playing handheld, unless she's
Sure.
playing Smash Brothers with me. And I think
Mhm.
that's really its success is that you can bring a full-fledged 3D Legend of Zelda game or whatever anywhere
Right.
with you, and it doesn't feel compromised. So
Right. Yeah,
that's
and
impressive.
I don't mean to knock that portability because I feel like if I used it more, like I would totally love that. It's hard to feel like a gaming console.
Mhm. Well,
So,
it doesn't. It's been a long time for me. It depends on how you look at it, I guess, because the for me,
mhm,
it's been a long time since Nintendo has decided to compete against the consoles. Like they
right.
do, but in their own way. Like they go their own
Right.
path. They have their own upgrade cycle. They're not competing in specs, and so they're going to miss out on a lot of like big tentpole games.
Mhm.
That's the issue with the Switch. I think is if you want to play, this guy in here lists that it brings together his favorite games of all time, other than
Mhm.
Shadow of the Colossus. So he mentions Breath of the Wild,
Right.
Dark Souls, Witcher 3, and Resident Evil 4.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, the issue is only one of those games is best played on the Switch, and that's Breath of the Wild because
Oh,
that's the only place you can
okay.
play it. Dark
Sure.
Souls is an older game, so I'm sure that performs fine. But Witcher 3, that's a gorgeous game, absolutely
Mhm.
gorgeous. And that game, they call it came out in 2015, and well, Alan says that Breath of the Wild was on Wii U. Okay, no one cares about that.
Shut up.
No,
It is?
the poor Wii U. Yeah, it was
I
one of
still
those
have that,
things.
okay?
Okay, they did that.
I guess if
The
that's the
same.
only place I have to play it, I'm gonna play it, but
Yeah, they
maybe I'll have to
did.
get over myself and get a Switch to play it.
Yes, yes. I mean, it's a shame because the Wii U. Well, it's a whole nother. I could go off on another tangent. I'll skip it for now, I guess. Um, the Resident Evil 4, okay, that'll play fine on there. That's an
Yeah.
old game. That's fine. But Witcher 3 is a giant, massive, amazing game, and we've played it through on like the Xbox, but then also the Xbox One X, and just
Oh,
that
okay.
mid console jump, it looks stunning on the Xbox One X. Like how
Okay.
the textures and the frame rate is gorgeous. So
Sure.
if you play it as a companion, like you play it some on the PC and then you play it some on the Switch when you're on the go,
Mhm.
fine. But or if the Switch is the only console you have. But otherwise, you're giving yourself a subpar experience by playing a game that gorgeous
Hmm.
on the Switch.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's the thing. It's got a lot of games, but it's not the best place to play everything. Doom 2016 is
Sure.
on there, and so is Wolfenstein. But I mean, those are also gorgeous games that are kind
Right.
of squandered on Switch. So
Sure.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's a good place. Yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I felt like I had to include it because it was a bold claim. So I felt like we should talk about our thoughts about that.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, yeah.
yeah.
So 3 years, yeah, the title. 3 years later, here's why Nintendo Switch is my favorite gaming console, and he does call out how it's his
Yep.
favorite, not the objectively best. Um,
Right.
but I think the reality is now with gaming, there's so many games one can't possibly play them all. Like, so you could pick a
Yes.
system and you could
Absolutely.
skip games like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order or Control. You could, Cyberpunk 2077 will be coming out. You can skip all these giant games if you like, but
Mhm.
you're going to miss out on a lot if you only have the Switch.
Right.
But if you only
Right.
have an Xbox or a PlayStation, then you're going to miss out on Nintendo things. So they've put themselves in this great position to be the sidekick console, to be the also
Right.
console. So like everybody picks a PlayStation or an Xbox or a PC, and then they also have a Nintendo Switch. So
Yeah.
they win.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no matter which main console you'd have, the Switch is a great companion.
yep.